Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your May 2024 forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This reading, as always, can be used for Sun, Rising, Moon, and Venus. I hope everybody's doing well. It's great to see you. I begin all of my readings, by the way, with mediumship and channeled messages. As I was tuning into your sign today, the first thing that I saw was the image of somebody creating a blueprint, and then I saw construction, something being built. That's why the title of this is Roll Up Your Sleeves. The key to your success this month was clearly spelled out, and that is preparation and research. Again, it was shown in the form of a blueprint. This is a symbol, though, for any kind of planning. So whether you're sketching it out, creating a prototype, reading up, or learning about something new, all of this is going to give you the preparation and the confidence to move forward. And then having something in a visual form can help others collaborate. If we look at the Three of Pentacles, you actually see an architect here, and then you see two people that are either checking the progress, looking at the blueprints, possibly providing feedback, or maybe even providing praise. So collaboration, recognition, and construction. These are all things that are a part of the Three of Pentacles, as is mastery. So if there's something that you really want to wrap your head around, you have a chance of learning it this month. Let's go ahead and shift into the second message that I saw in dreams, and that was someone holding scales. And this represents your ownership and reclamation of balance in your life. You could be balancing your ledger, making sure that all of your financial sort of affairs are in order. You could be balancing your work and your home life. You could also be factoring in health. The main thing here, and the reason that I chose justice over, say, like the Six of Pentacles, which also has the scales, is because I think it's time to declare it. People are really looking to hear what it is that you want. So take a little bit of time and be in that discerning space that is the Six of Pentacles, but ultimately your declaration, your decision is what brings about the change this month. I also featured this because I did get a strong sense of right versus wrong. So if something is out of order, if someone is acting a fool, acting like the Seven of Swords, you want to bring that into a better space. So communicating and maintaining proper boundaries, resolving any legal issues, creating a new contract or agreement with someone. This could also just be communicating expectations. And then ultimately just doing what's right for you, what's right for others, and what's right for everybody. Leading by example. We're not going to always see that in our leaders or in our friends, but you're going to be emanating that energy this month. You're really going to be the source for many of inspiration, of clarity, and of leadership. And justice definitely can be a leadership card as well. All right, let's go ahead and give the cards a shuffle and see what else Spirit has in store. Hope everybody's doing well. Take some time today. Leave me a comment. Let me know what's resonating, what you're going through. It's great to catch up with all of you. All right, before we get started, close your eyes if you will, and just focus on whatever it is that you need clarity on. And let's allow the cards to bring forth those messages, calling in protection and guidance from the angels and the highest guides as well. All right, here we go. We have you coming through as justice reversed. In many ways, the justice card in reverse can just be allowing yourself to say no, or again, to reclaim balance. So nicely aligned. Lots of cards that want to stick together, so we have a lot of messages coming forth. Just turn down the glare on this. All right. That's better. Okay. All right, let's begin with the message that came through in the catalyst here. We have holy love, the card is reversed, and for many of you, you're working on unconditional love. That's another way to interpret this. The catalyst itself helps you make necessary change and movement. And so for some of you, it may just be hard to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love, I accept, and I celebrate what I see. If there's anything that you're holding back on when it comes to self-love and acceptance, this month, it's important to work on that, because that could be the only thing that might be inhibiting or preventing you from getting to that Three of Pentacles recognition moment that I was tuning into. This can also represent like a new perspective for some of you of looking at the world, of seeing what your value or your worth is. And this new perspective is also going to help you get past potentially a mental block here. The Devil card in reverse is basically letting go of a limiting thought, a limiting idea, or the feeling that you are tethered or stuck. So we see your mind and your imagination opening up. We see a release of pain. And as this happens, there's a change in fortune. There's new ideas. There's a return to something that you can now actually finish because you're no longer putting energy in other directions. And ultimately, that helps you reclaim your balance. I love that we got justice in the position of you. Let's take it card by card. We're going to start off with Knight of Pentacles in reverse. This card is basically encouraging you to slow down and really evaluate the investment of time, energy, and resources. As you can see, you have the potential this month to really make things go and grow in the right direction, because we got the Wheel of Fortune. Both of these cards reversed, though, could indicate for some of you that you're just ready for a change. Sometimes we learn everything that we need to from a given job or opportunity. And in the case of that sort of thing, your professional career may be ready. You may be ready to take a different sort of turn. When it comes to general money and time, there could just be some places where you could spend it more wisely, where you could save a little bit more. And in doing so, you find out then that you have more to offer and give to aspects of your life that mean the most. So it's balancing. It goes back into the scales of justice. Give a little here, take a little bit there, move it around a little bit, and find a better arrangement. Ultimately, because the Wheel of Fortune is in opportunities, you have a chance to either make more from less, or find hidden sort of resources, or simply raise your hand and say, I need some more. And that also is what this card in reverse can be. In fact, if you take a look at the cards here, at the very top, we have the Devil in reverse. And this is you seeing through an illusion, looking at whatever is causing the Three of Swords moment here and saying, I don't want this anymore. In order for us to move forward, we have to create some balance. We have to right a wrong. So speaking up and advocating for your worth, that's step number one. That's going to help you get through the emotional sort of tumult that we see here in the Three of Swords, which I'll talk about next. Before I do that, the triptych in the center is quite nice. Hermit, energy coming through with wisdom. The Knight of Pentacles helping you get your worth, and then the Seven of Cups helping you explore opportunities. That's one of the reasons I want to help you get through the energy of the Three of Swords, because we don't want this to kind of get in the way or fog up any of that sort of potential growth or abundance on the horizon. So at the center of this card, we have an eye looking out. And I really feel like this is about feeling that you are being seen. Some of you aren't getting the validation, the gratitude, the support, the recognition that you do deserve, and for many of you that you desire. In fact, if we take a look here at the deep karmic past, we have the Page of Swords in reverse, and I think many of you already know exactly what it is you need to say and do. And this month is really a challenge from the universe just to let it out, let it be, and articulate it. And so a nice way to do it, and a great way to practice, of course, can be talking to a counselor, whether it's a career counselor, or for some of you, maybe a therapist, or just a friend or mentor, and kind of find the best way to articulate it so that by the time it comes to real life and you're ready for that moment, you're just going to be able to use your words, get in and out, and surprise yourself. And it's going to feel so good to get some of this off your chest, because that's where you're holding it. You're holding it in the heart space, and we want to let that go and let that be free. So speak your mind, really create, like I said, firm boundaries, state expectations in all aspects of relationships, professional, personal, and love, and you'll be better for doing that. What we also see here is someone who isn't just trying to keep the peace, because in the upright position, this is very harmonious. We can see that beautiful sort of sing-song energy here, but in the reverse state, sometimes you have to just be the voice of reason. Sometimes you have to say the thing that no one else will say. And it's okay if that's what you need to do this month. And the one thing you always want to be mindful of is taking a pulse check, reading the room, making sure that now is the right time. When you're talking to someone, you can first say, are you free? Is now a good time? And if not, when can we talk? That way you've given them a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of chance for preparation. And you can also ask them how they're feeling, what's going on. That way you know what you're getting into, okay? This is also a card that can connect you to revising things or, again, putting things into writing. So for those of you that are editors, writers, or, again, trying to create something, this is showing that you want to have a little sense of flexibility and malleability this month as well. Now we're into the preparation card, the Hermit. This is connected with reading up or researching on things. For some of you, you need a little bit of time to kind of wrap your head around something before you have a conversation with others. So take all the time you need. The Hermit is about feeling really confident, really prepared. Now, the Hermit is always holding a lantern, which usually carries the star in it, and it's saying very shortly there's going to be a spotlight moment for you. So enjoy any sort of quiet or lull in activity when it exists, and when the spotlight shines, it's basically a synchronicity that the universe has provided. You're ready, even if you're not feeling 100% ready. So don't shy away from that moment to shine. People may be knocking on the door and asking you for help. The Hermit is also a teacher and an advisor. So I was talking about seeking out advice from others. You may be that advisor for others. What's interesting in this one is we see someone looking at the footsteps in front of them, and there's this contemplative moment where the Hermit is thinking, is that my path? Is that what I want? Or am I going in a different direction? Some of you are at a fork in the road, Aquarius, and it's okay if you don't follow the footsteps of your parents or of your grandparents, or you're not meeting the expectations of your friends or your teacher. Whatever it is, the most important thing this month, this is going to help you with all decisions, is, will this make me happy? If the answer is yes, then it's okay to move forward. If it's not, then it's time to face what we see here in the crowning position, which is the Devil, but the Devil is in the reverse state. Because this was in the crowning position, it can represent something like a limiting thought. You could be thinking to yourself, I'll never do this, I can't do this, or if I do this, someone will think this. These are fears, these are anxieties, and for many of you, they're being projected onto you from someone else. So we see an amalgamation of two people smushed together in this particular Devil card. This can represent a codependency or an outside voice that has been pushed into your thought process so much that you have a hard time discerning where you stop and where someone else begins. So I think one important thing this month is to create space and distance, or to even articulate something like this. That's not what I said. Or why do you think that? Or why can't I do this if someone says that? And if they don't have a good answer, it's just them being afraid of your failure. And sometimes it's well-meaning, like from parents or from advisors or whatever, but what you can remind them, and this is reclamation of power, is this is my life, this is my decision. So if someone tries to put words in your mouth, you can say, that's not what we discussed. Hopefully you have a paper trail, you can show them that. Speaking of that paper trail, if you're looking at a contract and it doesn't make sense, get another set of eyes to look at this and highlight or spotlight where that injustice or that lack of balance is. That's what the Hermit's really doing as well, because he carries that spotlight with him too. So you're bringing attention to things that need to be cleared, that need to be balanced, that need to be sort of brought into the light. This is also simply about letting go of any sort of addiction or habit that doesn't serve you. And typically I look for something like that. You have to be at that point of thinking there's diminishing returns here. It doesn't give back. It's actually like a selfish habit. So enough of that now. Until you have that sort of epiphany though, it's difficult to let something go. So thankfully, it looks like many of you are in that understanding that there's something better out there. All right, now we have the Seven of Cups and it's in the reverse state. I have the traditional one here as well. Let's just look at them upright for a second. So your traditional Seven of Cups is about exploring the opportunities in front of you. When reversed, it's about landing on one of those ideas. So I fully encourage you to sort of like scan all of the options And then at some point, it's about saying, I've done enough research, and you're going to go for the one that feels the best to you. So this is also about putting a little bit of a cap on how much time and energy you're going to spend in the hermit phase. Because anybody that, if you've done research before, you know that there comes a point where you get too much information and it becomes overwhelming. So if you're looking for options, sometimes 3 is good. I wouldn't go above 5 if you can help it. There's a reason they chose 7 for this. I remember reading a study where once you get over 7, 8, or 9 choices, people just get confused. And when that happens, it's sort of like, I don't know where to start. And that's the math meme, and that's what I normally connect with this card, which is just too many choices. Keep it simple. And with the 7 of Cups, the other thing that I would say here is sometimes we want a clear and black and white sort of guarantee that everything's going to be okay. The truth in life is there comes a point where you just have to trust that you've done enough work, enough preparation, and take the next leap of faith. All right, what we see here coming through for you was the Justice card first and foremost, and then underneath it, we have another Cups card. You've got the 7, 8, and 9, and so here we have the 8 of Cups, which I'll talk about as well. But first things first, Justice, she was reversed, and so with the Justice card in the reverse state, this is standing up and saying, I don't want this, or this doesn't work. It can be a breakup, it can be quitting, it can be separation. And I think it's a good thing for those of you that are deciding to do that because, as I said, there's a loss of self that's going on, or there's this feeling like, I'm not doing it for me, I'm doing it for you. So speak up and create the balance for those of you that need that. For everybody else, all the stuff that I put on that initial card, which I'll bring up again here for just a moment, also holds true. And this is basically about you deciding what it is that you want and need. If you need to create a new contract or, again, sort of like communicate your boundaries or expectations, now's the time to do that. All right, let's now move on to the card that was underneath it. And we had the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups is a chance for you to basically go back and finish something. And I actually love that we see this completion energy. It's not always a part of this. So what we have here in the traditional illustration is someone taking a break. It can be in the form of a sabbatical or a vacation, or it can just be saying, I need a few hours to make a decision. But then eventually they come back and they decide what it is that they want to do and they finish it. You could also be picking something off the shelf that you never finished before. And now finally you're like, you know what? For those of you maybe that have raised a family and you put, school or a job or personal development on pause, now you're saying, I really want to do this for myself. Good for you. Some of you didn't have the support that you needed, maybe when you were a kid, to do something. And now you have a chance to do this because it feels right. And I absolutely get behind that. This is a return and a second chance to accomplish something and do it great. And this is basically you saying this wasn't right before because I didn't have the support or I wasn't ready, but it's right now and I'm going to do it right now. So I get this sort of return to sort of like form and a return to something that you really want to do. This can also be making and breaking cycles. And so with the Devil card in the crowning position in reverse, and this is saying no more of this. This time when you say no, you mean it and it sticks. And you can focus on putting your energy elsewhere. Okay? Let's go ahead and see what's going on in the environment. You received the Page of Cups. So in this particular deck, all of the lady cards are pages, and the queen cards are queens. But anyway, Page of Cups in the upright position. What I really love about this is she shows here that you have done the work. Because when we look in the environment, it's also basically a reflection of who you are and how people see you, because like attracts like. And in this particular situation, what was imbalanced is now balanced. And because you've done the inner work and you've walked away from some of the things that didn't serve you, because you've started to find your clarity, etc., now someone's coming through and saying, I'm ready. Are you ready? Whenever we have one of the court cards or the lovers or the 2 of Cups, anything that shows attractive energy, there's a reminder here that you can use this charisma, this attraction in any way, shape, or form. So you can use it in business to pull people into your ideas. If you want to grow your personal or professional networks, you can do that. And of course, if you're looking for love, this is a good sign. As I said, some of you have chosen to walk a different path. So let's look at this Hermit one more time. I love that the footsteps in front of him, he doesn't necessarily have to follow those. Or he might be plotting out what he wants to do and the sort of steps are starting to reveal themselves. Either way, it's based on what the hermit wants. We have a change in fortune. Based on what I'm seeing here, I think this is very positive. You just want to try something different. You want to go in a different direction. If you've had challenges with resources, new ones are coming in. If you've asked for something, this is a chance for like call and answer or ask and receive. So I definitely love that this is in the opportunity space. The only thing that some of you may be sort of, again, wrapping your head around and trying to let go of is this fear of success, because this can also, interestingly enough, be, well, what if it all works out? What do I do then? Just take it one step at a time. I feel like some of you have gone too far ahead in what about this? What about that? Again, pulling it back just a little bit and focusing on the here, the now, and being as present as possible. This is also encouraging you to be more vocal about finances. How did this happen? What do I need? Etc. And also asking like, well, how much is this going to cost? And looking at the contractual pieces too and saying, well, what about in a year from now? Or what if I need to break the contract? What is, are there any stipulations there? Ask the questions. And in a partnership, make sure that you're both talking about the money. And I think that's vital. Sometimes we just let one partner take care of it, not the other. You both need to sort of have communication when it comes to finances and resources. All right, in the outcome, we have two cards here, the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. Nine of Cups is the first one to look at, and I wanted to compare it with the traditional illustration. So this is a celebratory card. We can see someone here really happy. There's a lot of joy, a lot of abundance. Sometimes there's a reminder not to go overboard, especially since we got the Devil in the crowning position. So moderation is key, but whenever I see Nine of Cups or Three of Cups, it means that there's some fun on the horizon. And I feel like based on the other cards that we saw, embrace it. Take some time to have some fun. If you're overdue for a vacation, we see this little goat at the top of the hill. That gives you perspective when you have some fun. You're like, this is why I've been working so hard. Again, appreciating when you're in a partnership, time together, that's going to be key as well. Okay, have some fun. When you take that break, you may also get an idea. So we have an Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And so some of you are just starting to see, this is, how did I miss that? Or you're, again, looking back at the past thinking, I've been intending to do this, and I didn't realize until I took a break that I actually miss that kind of energy, or I miss that path. Now I want to do it. So perspective comes from a break or from some distance. That's also what we see here in the Eight of Cups. So take a break, have some fun, explore the options. And when you're ready, then go for it. This can also be someone offering you something out of the blue, unexpected. So you may not be expecting an invitation or an email or a phone call, but someone comes in and says, hey, you're the one that I want for this, or have you considered this, or are you available? Don't let fear get in the way. Don't say yes to something that you're not comfortable doing. Use your voice. Ask questions and make sure that you understand and that you feel really that sense of joy and excitement. And that is key, okay? Let's expand this, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. The oracle card in health is the gift. And just as I can see this beautiful sort of gold lining around this, I was thinking silver lining. There's going to be a hidden gift or a hidden opportunity. This is important because for some of you, there could be a limiting thought. For some of you, there could be an actual setback. And what happens is this is just there for a moment to cause a pause and a redirection so you can see something else. And we saw the gift in the form of the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, something unexpected. Allow yourself to be open to receiving something greater than what's in front of you. I mentioned many times in different readings that one of the cards that's associated with the devil, I call it the devil you know, is the Four of Pentacles. And it's holding on to something simply because you don't want to be alone. You don't want to put yourself out there and possibly not receive what you're looking for. And this is saying release the fear because a gift or an opportunity very much is incoming. So Open yourself up to receive. And if you didn't get what you want the first time, it might be because something better is waiting for you. So I see a silver lining. That's what this is really about. And the healthy approach this month is to see the blessing, the gift, or the silver lining, or to look beyond the current situation at what's on the horizon. Let's take it card by card and see what's also coming through energetically from spirit here. All right, so we're looking at health. I mentioned before that if I'm going to get the devil in a health reading, it's good to have it reversed because it means that you can see through whatever it is that might have been blocking you or keeping you in an addictive process, or you also see through, for some of you, a codependent relationship, and you're ready to say no. You're ready to say enough is enough. These two cards work together because this is about vocalizing, expressing, and acting upon the justice here. So it feels like you're going to be able to deal with whatever this is in a fair, just, and swift way and change your trajectory. So we see positive health changes here. If something was blocking you or if you had a setback, we see you being more active, more communicative, and we see maybe even you working with a specialist here, and I see a change of fortune. I want to see that on the heels of the devil. One thing to be mindful of this month is overthinking, or maybe some of you are having even concentration issues. So obviously that's something you want to bring up with the doctor. The other thing to be mindful of is extremes. So like I said before, these two kind of work together. If we look at the traditional Nine of Cups, this is one where there's a lot going on, and sometimes we can feel like it's the best day ever or the worst day ever, or we work way too hard or we don't work enough, and it's saying, find the middle ground. That's going to be really, really important here to just general happiness and success. Okay, other things that I'm picking up on. Whenever the Three of Swords comes through, of course, it can just be encouragement to deal with your emotions, but it can also be a call to action to be better when it comes to cholesterol, cardiovascular activity in general, just exercising, blood sugar, all things of that nature also would require you to get your physical. So be mindful of all of those things. Let's see what else is coming through here. Some of you are just feeling isolated. And that's why we got a card that shows kind of like getting out in nature here. Eight of Cups, traditional illustration shows it even better. Taking a break, taking a sabbatical, getting out into nature, all of these things are really, really important. Hanging out with some friends. You know, we see in the environment that there might be someone who you can just have a good time with. And I'm all for play and fun and camaraderie. I feel like that could bring you a lot of balance this month. Let me see if there's anything else that's kind of jumping out from the cards here. Like I said before, when you're ready to finally say no or set something new into motion, this is a card that shows it's going to stick, and we see a lot of productivity associated with that. Overall, I quite like the general trajectory here, and it feels like many of you already know what it is you need to deal with, and then we see a return on that once you take action. Let's go ahead and move on to wealth, and this is your life purpose, your resources, your career, and we have the snake here. But this snake is not one to be feared. It says, shed your old skin. This is just like a chrysalis, basically, a moth or butterfly emerging from the caterpillar phase. You've outgrown something. And the snake is connected to the devil. But in this case, it's saying that feeling of being trapped or anchored or stuck, you're also shedding your skin with that. The devil can't hold you in place because this is your time to grow. And this is a power symbol too, and an awakening symbol, Kundalini energy. So really embrace your power and know that you've got what it takes to move forward and to really make this a great month ahead, okay? But if you want to move beyond your current position or limit or whatever, this card is saying absolutely. The only other thing that I would get from this is flexibility is key. So rigidity sometimes can be the anchor, like this is the only way to do it, or it has to be done today, or it has to be done, you know, with this person. Open yourself up to look beyond the old habits and try something new. Okay, we're going to break this down now. We're looking at wealth, and we're going to look at this in those that are already employed, those that are job seeking, then those that are retired and or students. Starting first with those in a current job. There are two different narratives here. So I'm going to read it first as I see it with the devil card. Some of you feel like there's a glass ceiling, and that maybe you've just had some diminishing returns here. You know, like you're not feeling seen or validated or appreciated. what I would say first and foremost is make sure you have the conversation around goals and expectations, because that was one of the messages this month. And legally, there may be some precedent where if they said they were going to do it and it's in writing, you may have all that you need there to create the necessary change. I see an ace in the outcome. So do your research. Talk to an advocate or to a lawyer if you need to, if there's something that isn't just, because it looks like this month you can actually tip the scales in your favor. Some of you, however, are just saying, Nicholas, I've had enough. Yes, you have. Shed your skin. This is about overcoming something that feels like it's a block or it's an anchor. We see a better opportunity on the horizon, more creativity, more sensitivity, more intuition with whatever path this might be. But you have to go out and look. And this is, for some of you, saying there could be a distance component here with the Eight of Cups. So if you're willing to take a trip or go beyond your current sort of geography, I've been seeing this for every sign this month, that is key. But the Eight of Cups is something you've already done before, ostensibly. So some of you might be deciding to go back to a career path or to circle back with someone who offered you something and you said no before, or you got rejected, but this time they're going to say yes. So look at that. Look at things that you want to go back and try again, and this is a time to do that. Ultimately, if you want to stay in this job, I think the most important thing is to move beyond whoever this devil card represents for you. You may be seeking like a new, if you stay in the company, it's almost like you need to go to a new division, or you have to have like a new boss or manager. Sometimes it's possible to have that happen, not always. Do your research and see what's available to you. I do see, generally speaking, happy cards in the outcome. So whether you decide to take a new trajectory, say goodbye to the current job, whether you speak up and fight for something, or you try to find a new point person, all of these things could help you on your current path. Change is necessary. Whether you stay or go, there has to be a change of approach. Some of you are just feeling stale or unchallenged, and you want to tap into that creativity and allow yourself to do new things, okay? So at the very least, it could just be communicating that you feel stuck, because this doesn't necessarily have to be like a bad person. I said this could be a mental sort of block. So some of you are saying, I feel blocked or stuck here. Can we try this? And you throw it out there. And I do see some interest from the powers that be, but they can't always read what you're feeling. Okay, let's go ahead now and transition into those that are job seeking. I want to start off with the most challenging card because it's going to help you the most. The Devil in reverse is reminding you that if you are not receiving feedback after 2 or 3 attempts, or maybe after 5 interviews or whatever, you've done your work, you've done your due diligence, and it's just crickets at the other end, let it go. That is not the place. You shouldn't have to force the connection. So many times in my own professional career, I was grateful for the blocks. The most crazy example of this was where I interviewed 5 times at a company, and on the 5th interview, unfortunately, I was running a little bit late, and I got a speeding ticket, and I was late to the interview, and then that was it. They just rejected me, and I knew it was because I was late. But I ended up getting a dream job right after that failed interview, and I was at that dream job for like 4 years, and that company that I interviewed at shortly after went out of business, and they laid off like 60 people at the company, and I would have been part of that too. So I was so glad that it didn't work out. The universe went as far as stopping me and making me late to the interview, and then I had to deal with the rejection, and that was a blessing. I talked about the gift. Sometimes the gift is the block, because there's something hidden on the horizon, and we saw that in the form of this ace that's right here. So don't force the connection. Wait. Ask what else is out there. Do your exploration. And if that no comes through, then keep looking. I really feel like something better is on the horizon for you. So it's okay if there's been crickets or rejection or someone is ignoring the calls. There's something better out there. That's the first thing. It's okay also to feel a sense of frustration for not getting, any feedback or getting a rejection and feeling like I was right for that. It's okay. This is normal too. I think what's more important for all of you right now too is to decide. We saw shedding your skin here, right? Could you take this opportunity in job seeking and say, what if I take a slightly different turn? What if I instead of always going the straight and narrow, if I take the road less traveled, and maybe for some of you that could be going back to school, taking a completely different trajectory where it might require a little bit of a reset, but it could feel really inspiring and engaging. And maybe for some of you, you're just going to say, you know what, I am ready to do something that, because I do see the Wheel of Fortune here, you want to make sure that you're getting more support and abundance. Maybe you're starting a family, etc. Whatever it is that makes you happy and makes you feel like, you know, again, I'm really behind this. That's what you want to focus on. A change needs to happen. So I saw like a brick wall and a dead end when I was looking at this Devil card. And I think it's so important for you to just observe that red light and say, okay, let's go here instead. Can you get a job? Can you find it? Yes, I've got the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Pentacles, but I do get either a return to an old connection, going back to a path that you had forgotten about, exploring and hitting the road and saying, all right, what else can I do with this skill set? A little bit of repackaging going on for some of you. Really be discerning when it comes to contracts. Don't sign until you understand. I think some of you may be missing something in the fine print, or you're looking at this and thinking, okay, well, is there, like if there's a signing bonus or an educational bonus, make sure that you read what happens if you quit or if something else happens. Just get the clear understanding of all of that sort of legalese, because they don't make it easy for everyday people to understand. Some of you may just decide to take a path of social justice or something related to the law, and that definitely is coming through here. We do see a water sign coming through to help you out with some of this, and some of you are doing something more creative or artistic, and that is something that is definitely coming through in the cards as being beneficial. Let me see if there's anything else. When you're presenting yourself, the Seven of Cups sometimes shows that there is, like, the reorganization could happen on your resume or website to just clarify your vision. So I can see it or I can understand it better, because it seems to be there's like one too many things there. So just sort of like firm it up a bit, and I think that could help as well. Show your creativity in your resume and the way that you're presenting yourself. As we shift the focus now into students, the number one thing that I see here is it's your path. We saw the footsteps here on the Hermit card, and we can see the overlapping energy on the Devil. So you're walking down your path, not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends. Make sure it feels good to you. Some of you are just overwhelmed right now. There could be a lot of stress to perform. I do see great cards here with the Knight of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Pentacles, but they're all reversed. So it feels like you're overwhelmed. There's too much on your plate. So this is a time to look at balance and let go of something if it's not there. If you're too many extracurriculars or too many credit hours, or you don't like your major and you want to change it, whatever it is that's out of balance, please find that balance first and foremost. And if you need to talk to a counselor, do that as well. Ultimately, Wheel of Fortune and Ace of Pentacles represent a positive outcome to this. It's just about saying what's on your mind. I can see the stress, and I can see the opportunity for some of you just to express your thoughts to someone that will listen. So talk to your counselor at school, also maybe a mentor, and then say what you need to say and create the necessary balance here. Also, looking at your financial aid opportunities here with the Knight of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Pentacles, there might be a hidden sort of like grant or scholarship opportunity, and it only comes when you ask your dean or you ask your counselor or you dig through the paperwork. I feel like there's an opportunity for more money there. All right, for retirees, here's what I see. Many of you need to sort of like separate yourself from the old version of you. So it's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. If you're newly retired, you may still have this sort of feeling, well, if I'm not this title or this job or this function, what am I? So this is basically a chance for you to start to imagine a different path. What we see coming through here are normal questions that come through any change, but then for many of you, it's going to be some travel and some fun. I really would love for you to meet up with friends, with peers, with like-minded individuals here. It's a chance to sort of like get out there a little bit. And I think this is the perfect segue to go into love and relationships. So let's break this down. This is going to be romantic, platonic, friends and family, and everything in between. The card that came through here was financial and material changes. So obviously it's important to talk about the Wheel of Fortune, which we saw also came through reverse. Some of you are ready to make a change, do something different. So in existing partnerships, you're going to talk about that change. For the new partnerships, it's about shared interests and goals, whether it's starting a family or traveling or just what it is that the two of you want to do in your long-term goals and dreams. This is really what it's all about, okay? Open communication. Let's break it down into those that are in a relationship looking for love or happily single. For those that are already partnered, here's what I see. Obviously, it's really important to be honest with one another. The Devil card in the crowning position basically shows that if you don't have honesty and trust, it's a house of cards. It's not going to stand the test of time. So if there's something that needs to be said, it's also better that you're the agent of communication and change when it comes to this. So get it out in the open. Sometimes the devil is just fear of sharing some news that could be overwhelming, right? Maybe there's something that's developing in health, or there could be something going on in your family and you didn't want to burden your partner, but because you love them, and this is how you say this, because I love you and you're my best friend, I really need your love and support on this, so do you have a minute? So now you've set it up as what a core relationship is all about, partnership. So that's a great way to just share your hopes, fears, or whatever it is that's going on with somebody. Now, in the case of a secret, it's important to just bring it out. And just, I would say the less explaining you do and the more you kind of get into it, the better there. And just say, it's important that we're honest. And in the spirit of honesty, this is something we need to discuss. That's it. Get into it. Again, asking if it's a good time can always help there. But either way, something needs to come out. A fear, an anxiety, some information, and I think that's key here. Now, for those of you that are saying, Nicholas, we're very communicative. Here's what I see for some of you. It could just be a rut. Things could just be kind of stuck. The Devil card can represent a habit. We just looked at like resources and growth, and it's all about changing things up. So talk to one another and see what you both want and what you both need, and that could be very advantageous. Other things that I see going on. There's some stress. It may not be from one another, but it could be from work because we have the Three of Swords right on top of a material card. There could also be a feeling for some of you of just being a little bit isolated. The partner could be working, you could be working a lot. So just making some more time for one another. There could also be this feeling of something wasn't right. And if it wasn't basically due to a secret or anything else, it could be a feeling of like, I wish I could make this better, but I can't. Sometimes when the partner's sick or when something happens in the family, it's just this sort of expression of, I'm sorry, that isn't fair. And remember, validation is something that was missing for some people. So validate the emotions. You don't have to fix them. You can just say, I love you. What can I do? How can I be there for you? Now, if we tie this financial or material change to the Wheel of Fortune and Ace of Pentacles, some of you might have an opportunity to basically take a new job. There's a distance component on this. We can see that with the Eight of Cups here. And one partner may not want to make the move. This is especially true if maybe you're not married yet. It's just been a long-term relationship. And so this is a chance to really make sure that you both are communicating the long-term implications of any sort of decision like that, and to see if it's something that you want to try to make work over a long distance as well, because we do see that sort of long distance card, rather than having it be all or nothing. Maybe there's something in the middle, because that's the only thing that I'm seeing here is rigidity. And it's important this month to have flexibility when it comes to growth. So be as flexible as you can. But obviously there are some things where it's like, yeah, I don't want to do that. And that's okay. Some of you have come to that understanding that it's time to move in a new direction. Relationships, just like they grow together, sometimes can grow apart. So in the healthy relationships, I'm just seeing communication being a necessary piece, common goals and interests around money being discussed, and just being supportive of one another. But there may be some of you that have just outgrown the relationship and it's coming to a close, but it looks like it can come to an amicable close because we actually have a very pleasant card in the environment. There's one more thing that I want to talk about, and that can be a third party that's coming through. The devil doesn't have to always be an affair. It can just be a family member, a friend, someone that's kind of interjecting and trying to insert themselves in the middle. And we can see that here too. And it's sort of like the boundaries piece is so important, and all you have to do in this particular situation is say no. So that's every possible read that I have for the current relationships. Let's go ahead and move on to those that are looking for love. If you're looking for love, can you find it? Yeah. As I said, we have a Page of Cups in the environment. So we see the receptivity, we see a potential water sign. It looks auspicious. The challenges this month, though, for some of you, you may not be free. It doesn't have to be because you're getting out of a relationship or on a rebound. Some of you are just working a lot. I can see it. Knight of Coins, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Pentacles. There's too much going on. So pull back a little bit if you need to. For some of you, you may meet someone that isn't out of a relationship yet. They're still attached. And so you want to make sure that you take your time, get to know someone, and find someone who is available, right? Emotionally available too. There's some sort of thing here that if it's not a Capricorn and it's not a water sign, it could be someone here who is just not ready to give you what you need, okay? I also see this new partnership, especially if it's the Queen of Cups, having wisdom and kind of like being an old soul. They don't have, they may be younger, but they have this wisdom that sort of belies the age. You're represented by this Knight of Pentacles here, so it's about a personal development this month, and that connects to this as well. So make sure that you've done everything that you need in your life so you're not seeking the lessons from the partnership. That's what I see. And that, I think the focus really is on career and growth this month. So for those, now we're transitioning into single and happy. It's kind of a perfect time to be single and happy. I see a change or movement or an improvement when it comes to career and money. I think it's a great time to travel. I think it's also a really good time to overcome any blocks or sort of health issues that you've been dealing with, and just exit the month in a better place than you did when you started. Let's look at destiny. This is something that changes from month to month, and we have here the bat coming through. It's about listening. Listening is your most powerful tool this month. Listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, listen to what other people are saying, and really focus on not just what they're saying, but how they're saying it. Bats obviously use sonar and their ears to see when their eyes can't help them. So it's about trusting your intuition and also like the tone of the communication from someone else more than just the words. Because there are times sometimes where someone says, yeah, I'll do it, but that's not a yes, that's, I'll do it. Or if they say, yes, let's do it, that's much different. Really pay attention to tone and intention. Also, there is a way through this. That's what we see here. The bat can see its way through a challenging situation. So where others say it can't be done, you say, yes, it can, and I'm going to show you. All right? So I see a silver lining. I see a gift. I see an opportunity. It's about slowing down long enough to recognize that. All right, let's go ahead and go a little bit deeper into the areas of sun, rising, and moon. Sun, rising, and moon. As we take a look at the sun sign, we have a really unusual Seven of Pentacles. Just for comparison, here's your original one. In the original Seven of Pentacles, we have someone who lacks patience. We can see that there, but there is progress. So growth and recovery and rebounding energy, it happens over time. What we see in this card is if you take time to count your blessings and take stock of what you've done, you're actually further ahead than you may imagine initially. So we have at the apex of this obelisk all of these sort of culmination of experience and energy and investment, and it's saying you're doing exactly what you need to and you're exactly where you need to be. So don't rush it. Don't overextend yourself. Don't rush to the finish line. Really just be where you are in this moment and know that you've come a long way. I see a lot of progress and growth here. The main thing to do is to make sure that if something puts you in a place where you're feeling that sense of being overextended, that you say no, that you speak up, that you really bring balance into the picture, and that you advocate and articulate, advocate for your worth and articulate when that's lacking and say, hey, I need some support here. And that's really it. Ultimately, this is a card that says you're in the right direction. Keep up the work, don't give up, and know that patience and hard work are paying off, okay? Especially when it comes to health improvements and financial growth. And we did see a change in fortune here, so that's aligned to that as well. As we move into the rising sign, we have a very unusual 9 of Wands. The traditional one shows someone who has basically stood the test of time. They're a little worse for the wear, but they're like, I'm not giving up. And this is an indication that the finish line is within sight, but a little bit of self-care is necessary. This can be a pushy card, and that's what we see happening here. Someone might have pushed you into a difficult situation. You don't have to sit there and sort of like continue to take that pushy energy. Get yourself out of that fiery situation and really make sure that you are advocating again for boundaries and appropriate limits here. This is also kindling the fire of your passion. So those 9 wands can also represent the ability to really bring some movement, some passion, some action into your life. And that can also be what's symbolized by the fire here. And if you want to, you can also rally up the support of others. So just as people can push you, you can also be a force that is to be reckoned with this month. And so if you need to kind of like be the voice of reason and get people behind you, you can do that. So rather than being pushed, push back, push the energy in the direction that you want it to be. You have that potential to be very strong and to be very much seen and heard, because we can see the smoke signals here. All right, moving on to the moon sign, we have one of the best cards I've pulled today, the 6 of Wands, success. And I mentioned before that, you know, the hermit holds the lantern, the spotlight. And I mentioned that there's going to be a moment for you to be in the spotlight. Aquarius moon, it's your moment. And it could happen at any time this month, but you are ready for it. We can see the people ready to follow you. They do want to see that sense of confidence and belief within yourself. And I think the biggest challenge for some of you is just not getting in your headspace too much, not worrying so much, can I do this? Sometimes you have to lead the charge before you get that validation. Success is subjective. Whenever 6 of Wands energy comes through, there's also a reminder that it's nice to have the validation, but even if it's not there, that doesn't mean that you're not doing exactly what you should be doing. So we'd see eventual sort of recognition, but it may not be there at the get-go. But ultimately, I like where you're headed. Your trajectory looks good. 6 of Wands shows success. Now it's going to be your chance to ask me a question that you still have that I haven't answered already. This is the final question, final card. Go ahead and formulate that question. It can be anything. And let's see what Spirit has to say. What a lovely card to come through for this. This is the 2 of Cups, and it's a yes. If you're looking for a yes or no, it's a yes. And it's also, for many of you, the promise of the rose after the thorn. You see it there? So that's why I would love for you to focus on processing the emotions first, so you can see and you can receive this beautiful offering here. New friendship, new partnership, new opportunity, people seeing you and valuing you. And ultimately, this is a reminder that like energy attracts like energy. Be mindful of what's going on around you. Sometimes people are a little bit quiet, but they could be sending those signals of interest. So pay attention to nonverbal cues. Is someone looking at you? Are they smiling at you? Could you also have a hidden ally or support system that you're just not tapping into? This is the time to really slow down, look up, and see who has your back. See who's there all along. All right? That's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. Like I said, I read every comment. Let me know what resonates. Let me know what your challenges are. And thank you in advance. A great way to get additional reminders, just in case YouTube doesn't send them out in notifications, is to join me on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all the major platforms. And you can always go to my website if you want to make absolutely sure you're following the right person. To that end, make sure that if anybody ever reaches out to you and offers you a product or service or asks for money, just block and report them. That is not me. And again, double check the spelling. It's Nicholas Ashbaugh. No extra characters, no misspellings. There's currently a fake one on TikTok right now. So I do my best to stomp them out, but it takes a few weeks sometimes for those profiles to go away. A great way to give back with confidence is right here on YouTube through super stickers, super chat, thanks, and also through memberships. All of these sort of systems get straight back to me, and then I can put that into things like a podcast or more videos just like this. And I release videos every Monday, Thursday, and Friday, do live streams every Sunday, and daily card reads as well. So, thank you so much. When you give back, it gives me the ability to upgrade my equipment and do new, basically, programs here. So thank you so much. And that is everything. I want to end with gratitude. Thank you for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I wouldn't be here without your love and support. And it's an honor to be able to channel and present all of this to you. Take care, Aquarius. I'll see you soon.